Hey everyone, welcome back. It's such a pleasure. Oh my goodness. Where have we all been? That's the question I'm trying to ask. Right? So you guys know how it goes. We're going to be taking a look at the collective energies. However, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there that this is going to be the Libra reading. But you know how we roll. It's just collective energy. So I encourage you to check. Well, okay, we'll take you. I encourage you to check in on all of the videos that I post, especially since they're so far and few in between. They're definitely collective. All right. So anyway, yes. So welcome back to another reading. We're going to be taking a look at the Libra energies at this time. And you guys know, if you follow this channel, you know how it goes. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But I would say to always back pocket what doesn't resonate for you at the moment, because chances are it's just still taking its time to get to a point of solidification or materialization, i.e., manifestation, for you to notice it. Okay. So, and also remember, a lot of times energies manifest, and my nose is already starting to itch, so I know I'm in the energy. A lot of times, energies manifest into form that we may not expect it to be. Form being people, places, things, situations, ideas, for example, right? So, for example, I will say this example: you could be married to your own self-doubt, so be mindful, right? But anyway, let's just, yeah. And if you'd like to work with me more personally, I do, well, pretty much we do everything except hands-on healing because I prefer to do remote stuff. But if you do bump in, shout out. If we bump into each other in the physical, we can work then. But we do intuitive counseling, energy readings, cards, all that. We don't need any tools, but it's fun. I say we. Notice I automatically shift to we because it's me, my higher self, and my spirit team. All right, so let's jump in because my nose is itching. All right, so what are the energies already coming through? As I said that I felt energies passing right through. So interestingly, I'm getting these water energies passing right by me. Actually, look, let me go ahead because now why am I shuffling like that? It's bringing me to a card that is actually in here. But the energies passing by that I was just getting are referring to these water energies of this month. We are in March. We are heading into Aries. So, in a sense, that makes sense. But what I was actually getting is that it's for some people, these water energies are passing you by because you've already, I guess, received what information you needed to receive from a lot of emotions that may have just come up. Okay, where is this card though? Let me check the last. Okay, it's not the last. Second to last? Okay. Okay, let me. Okay, no. What are the. All right, there it is. Look at how deep in the middle. Um, Look at how like there's this like membrane thing, but the image I got was as if this were water passing by and it's not touching her anymore. And that's because you probably already passed through something that you needed to pass through. We did just have a lunar eclipse go by for us, full moon. Anytime we have full moons, just think about it, full moons pulling up on the energies. That's why people go crazy around full moon times in general. But go ahead and hit us with eclipses. These are major events that occur and they pull on you. So that's why if you've been experiencing a lot of upheaval in your life in some area, remember it can manifest in any form, right? It could be your emotions, it could be in your finances, it could be a car crash, for example. A lot of people are getting flu-like symptoms these days, whatever it is. Somebody could storm off, you could lose a lot of money, whatever this is. It's just bubbling up of, it's a reflection, let's put it that way, of what's going on in your non-physical field. As you guys know, physicality is just a past, it's just a manifestation of what was a now moment that already passed. All right. So anyway, let's jump right in. Let's see what else is going on. Speaking of past life, past life activation. Why? We are also in the beginnings of Mercury retrograde, right? So whenever this comes around, I always try to say, hide your wife, hide your kids. Just kidding. No, no hiding that. What I do always tell you is do not. I don't care how many dreams you had. I don't care how many 111s you're seeing around, 333s and license plates and feathers falling. Do not, and I repeat, do not and get back in touch with your ex. And I don't care what you tell yourself. Oh, well, I was just thinking about him. It's not even about him. I was thinking about his mother. How's his mother doing? Look, you can't lie. You can't lie to your friendly local energy reader because we reading it, okay? And so, what I do want to let you know is to be mindful of people propping back up now, especially if they are people that you would not like to continue to move forward with, or you left for a certain reason. If it's just like an old friend or somebody popping up uh, to connect, say hi and enjoy and reflect and all of that. But if it is somebody who brought you pain, right, slash transformation, right? And they're popping up again, they're going to pop up because the energy is active once again. Energy from within you is bubbling up. See that? It's taking do form. Now it's solid, right? And so now the people start coming in. The text messages start occurring. The knocks on the door. Oh, I bumped into my ex in the supermarket or blah, 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 right? Or even watching something on TV that, the characters are going through the same thing that you went through not too long ago. And it's all just form, people, places, things, situations, ideas, manifesting right before your eyes as a reflection of the energies that are coming back up um, into activation within you. Now, when something is presented to you, you are the one who chooses. If you struggle, I mean struggle, to say, no, thanks. Like, in other words, if you feel compelled to rush towards it or super averse to it and you feel compelled to run away from it, that reeks of karmic energy that is still not, processed. There's something you need to look at because think about it. If I asked you, oh, who's that kid that you sat behind in college in that one class, you're going to be like, oh, what? I don't even remember so and so. I don't remember everyone there. Yeah, because they came in and out. There was no electrical charge to that dynamic. They were not carrying anything in their energy field that activated something in your energy field enough for you to be called into orbit to learn from and to experience with, right? But some of the other ones you do remember, even if it's just like, oh, she had really pretty nails, or, oh, I dated this person and it didn't go well, or this person I felt didn't like me. Those are all, no matter what the story and the narrative is that you attach to it, right? Whether or not other people attach the same story or whatnot, right? All it speaks to is an active energy that called you into alignment. So whatever is happening for you at this time, good, bad, ugly, there is value in that to be looked at. And sometimes the message there is to not engage. It's like if you keep falling for the same thing over and over again and it pops up at some point, if in this lifetime you learn that lesson, you're just gonna like decide, oh yeah, maybe I'm still attracted, but I'm gonna take a pass for right now, and you keep on your business. But if you struggle and you're really thrown into feelings about it, you don't know what to do, should I not, or even more, if you just go straight in, that's also very, very telling. And I will tell you that sometimes the people that you wouldn't even give a second look at on the street because you passed right by them, maybe you've worked in projects with them at work or whatever, you wouldn't even give a second look to them. Chances are that in other lifetimes you were falling head over feet with those people. You could not get out of their orbit, but you worked through stuff and now they're just passing you like a ship in the night. It's not good nor bad. There's just no energetic pull there anymore, right? So I guess that tail end of that message that I wanted to let you know is that you have been making progress. It's not all why do I keep saying and do you guys actually know? Do I know? Does anybody know? Right? But you understand? Let me shift up the vocabulary a little bit. But long story short, if something's in your reality, whether you're watching it on TV or hearing about it hearsay, whether or not it affects you, anything you hear or see or read or whatever, if it gets you in your feels or whatever, that is a reflection of an active energy within you, because there are many people living on the same earth as you, not living the same reality, having the same reactions, or even seeing the same news stories as you, or reading, even coming into proximity with the same kinds of people that you come into, that you vibe with. So a lot of times we just have to remember, don't take these things for granted. It's in your world, but it doesn't mean that it's the only thing and that it's the most important thing. It's the end all and be all. That all of that that's in your world is a reflection of stuff that's going on in your mentality being pushed out for you to see and to engage with and to make decisions about and to have healings around. Healing being a change in mindset has nothing to do with the body. The body is just a carbon copy of whatever changes occur in the mind. And this is something a lot of us may struggle to understand, and we get it. Maybe you don't need to understand it for your soul's curriculum this lifetime, but the mind cannot affect the body. We have that illusion. The mind, anything that's occurring in this mental level is just it's creating and you're making and it's affecting at that level, and boom, the carbon copy is the physical. Okay. As I say that, look at this. It's mirroring her posture, because whatever's going on in her mentality, her mind, her consciousness. And I say those three words, mentality, mind, consciousness, only because I don't want you, I mean, I'm giving extra words, but I don't want you to approach that with your own idea, because some of you may come from psychology backgrounds, some of you may come from religious backgrounds, some of you may come from no specific background, some of you maybe just read a textbook, you heard some things, and so you all have different ideas of mind and of psychology and the level and the subconscious and the id and all. We don't, right? Just understand whatever it is, that whatever's going on in the consciousness that you carry, because everything is mind, everything is consciousness, that is being made manifest in the world around you. So you will behave and you will experience, you will have thoughts about, you will feel things about, you will have gut reactions about all sorts of stuff to whatever it is that you believe to be true in your mind. And whatever you believe to be true in that certain level of your mind is what you will project out onto the world and experience. And if you're not careful, you will get stuck in that massive confirmation bias that is this lifetime that we lead, and consistently keep thinking that it's everybody else acting upon us, right? So at some point, spiritual growth and spiritual ascension and just greater consciousness and awareness comes from a place when we can start to entertain that which feels foreign to us. We may experience that foreign to us depending on your lessons as foreign, literally people from foreign lands, people with different cultures, people with different races, people with different sexual orientations, people with different monies, people with different ideas, people with different heights, people who dress differently, whatever it is. How do you engage with difference? Because difference is going to be interpreted by you as other. And some people struggle a lot with handling differences that are just like somebody's color, right? So we have to, but yet, they're calling for larger things. So we have to take care of what's going on at home. How do you handle differences in your life in general? Right? What do you do to yourself? What's your self-concept? How do you view others? What's your concept about them? And I'll just cut to the chase. Anything that you can say about other people is a reflection of how you actually feel about yourself. Always remember that at our current level of human consciousness, we are seeing like letter A and letter Z, for example, but we forget that there's like a B, C, D, E, F, G. There's so many things that we cannot even comprehend yet. So when we see two things and we struggle to accept the two, that's because we keep thinking there's only two. But there's so much more, and it all makes sense when you expand your consciousness. And so therefore, people who are able to really lend themselves to being receptive to multiple perspectives, all they're doing is giving themselves more and more pieces of a larger puzzle. But even they don't have it all. I don't have it all. Nobody has it all. But the last thing you want to do is to leave this earthly plane with the same rigid mentality that you came in for. And if you follow the weekly readings, the posts that we do, in this day and age, that is not the way to go, because this is the age of Aquarius. Uranus is that ruling planet, and they are here to say you are going to change. And so if you struggle with change, and if you are struggling to be ideologically flexible, you're going to struggle moving forward. All right. So it's just time to shift. It's that's all there is. Now, I do want to say that we see how this card has lent itself to the message that's coming through. Remember, it's not the cards that do anything, it's the energies that are already here, and I'm just using my intuition to read it for you. And then the cards are assisting, and they're so lovely, right? But this card, we also want to take a look at it literally. We could have read the back of this card and gotten the same message. So why did this card, past life activation, come up? Now, the reason why this came up is because literally, as we talked about, we're in retrograde season right now. Things are coming up out of the woodwork. We're, heading into Venus retrograde as well. If we're not already in there, I don't know the dates, but so people, places, things, situations are coming back for us to reflect upon and to check what our values are. How do we feel about things at any given time? Anything that you witness in your physical should give you a question. And that question should be like, so how do I feel about this? Is this something I would like to continue to have be a part of my reality? Or would I prefer to have another reality for myself, another state of being, another situation, another type of person, another opportunity? If your thought is, I would like to have another opportunity, ask yourself why. What about like, is it a matter of you not noticing and having gratitude for maybe something that you have before you? Or is it because your joy, you've understood that your joy is elsewhere, right? So this is a reflection time. But that being said, I do see a lot of energies coming up for us to be revisited. And a lot of those energies are carrying past life markers to them. Remember, there's no such thing as past and present, excuse me, past and future. When we look from outside of this time matrix, if you'd like to say it that way. But from our point here in the 3D, we're just going to use the word past, right? So there are going to be some past life things that are coming up for you specifically to notice. I do see somebody here, if you, God bless you, if you are having boils, boils on the skin, and that's a very specific word, boils. I'm not just talking about like, oh, like a rash popping up, although if you feel this message is for you, it also is, but specifically boils that are popping up here. Now, if you are having boils right now, first of all, God bless you. You have the number 3 associated with you for some reason. I'm not sure where on your body this is popping up, but there is a number 3. I don't know what that 3 is related to, but it does feel karmically driven. And when I say karmically driven, it means that there is an energetic component to that this just has to, it's popped up and you just have to live through it. You have to experience through it to gain some type of knowledge from this experience that you're having. And as I'm feeling it, and remember, guys, sometimes when we have these soul agreements and stuff, it's not, or karma and whatnot, it's not always going to be something big and major that's so painful and this and that. Sometimes it could be that you've agreed to create balance by doing something for somebody. Oh, I'm going to open this organization, or oh, I'm going to donate money here, or I'm going to be here to support you through this, right? Whatever it is to help balance it. It doesn't always mean that something bad's going to happen to you or something horrible, or it's going to be, right? It's about whatever your soul decided, you and your soul decided to do to bring balance, to bring awareness. So, for example, I'm not saying this is the case with the person who has boils here, but this does feel a little oddly specific. But for example, I'm just seeing an image of, let's say, if you were, okay, the image they're showing me is interesting. Let's say if you were a seamstress in another lifetime, so maybe this is very specific here, seamstress in another lifetime, and in these past times, and maybe even now, when you're a tailor or seamstress, that you have and you're putting the clothes, you're fitting the person for the clothes, you have the clothes kind of pinned on them so that you can make adjustments. And so I see this person being this seamstress, but purposefully pricking, whoever it is that they would be fitting for the clothing. So it's a little bit of a bullying kind of energy, an energy of wanting to inflict pain, but in an insidious way, like, stop moving. You did that. Like, oh, right. There's an excuse to do the pricking, whether they were conscious or unconscious of it. But there was an intention. And so this boil kind of thing for somebody in particular, it's very specific. I do feel that what you're going through right now is so that it's your own soul's decision to have this experience so that you can have a similar experience to having pain in the skin somewhere. That's an example, but that doesn't mean that's very specific. That doesn't mean that for everybody who's having a rash or acne, that that's the same thing. All right. That was a long-winded way to say that, but but I just wanted to get that out. And guys, for 2025, your favorite Capricorn ascendant, 29 degrees, ouch, is here. That's me, by the way. I'm here to say I am working on not trying to be a perfectionist. So yeah, I've been seeing typos slip it into my, slipping into my writings, and it's annoying me, but I'm learning to let all that go. So we're just gonna roll with the video here and let it be what it is. Okay, now this is interesting. I do see another situation here. Wow, I guess this is what we're coming through. It makes sense. Libra here with the scales. Now here we are kind of talking about karma. I do see another situation here that's, I'm seeing about six of you. One, two, like at different levels, fours up there. So some of you are choosing to have karmic balances made for you. I don't know why it's being phrased that way. I'm just translating the energetic frequency here. Made karmic balances made for you in terms of your finances. And I don't see this all as necessarily being so negative, but I do have to be honest. It does feel like there could be a little bit of struggle, almost a little bit of struggle. Like, let's say somebody like lost their job or just whatever. This is one example I'm seeing connected with the number four for whatever reason. Four up here, higher up than six is right there, three is there. I don't know why, but four is right there. So number four, for example, whoever you are, I see maybe you may have lost a job or something, some type of source or income or something, and then you may experience a little bit of a dip, let's say for 3 months, but then boom, it takes off, right? So, or you start to see building back up incrementally. And for you, I wouldn't say to worry too much about it because I do see you already in a really great receptive posture. Now, let's talk about the receptive posture, guys. Look at this. We have two beings, one, two, receiving. And then we've got like this hand here receiving this. So, and look at that. So this message here is coming for those of you who may find yourself having to go through some type of karmic balancing for whatever reason during this time. The message I'm getting is that it's not going to be forever, obviously, right? For somebody here, like I said, it could just be about 3 months where you feel like you plateau and at a lower amount of income than you would have preferred. For someone else, I'm seeing up to 8 months. So there, and for the 8 month person, there's a railroad connection, and not like I feel like I'm being railroaded, although you might feel like you are being railroaded by whatever's happening. But there's a railroad connection. You'll know who you are. I don't know who you are. Usually when I'm reading, I could feel the person's frequency and energy, especially if I know them, but I don't think I know who you are. It's not coming through, but there's a railroad connection for you. You've got 8 months and just kind of like yeah. And that for you has to do with a mother figure in your life, something about needing something there to play out. And then you could kind of receive the one with the four. You're waiting for things to come in. So maybe if it's goods or services or people to be put in place, if you're getting another job, you're waiting for the person in that position to exit their position so you could take it, right? So I'm just seeing a couple things. I'm also getting a nod to babysitting here for somebody. I don't know who you are, but if that's for you, please take the babysitting job and keep it light. Oh, look, there's a little boy, cute, and a little baby bear, cute. There we go. So, baby bear status. So, yeah, so a lot of people are going through some stuff. Okay, I'm getting a laundry and I don't know if you guys, if you follow this channel, then maybe, thank you, first of all, then maybe you remember every now and then a laundry connection would come up. These words are coming through because they're meant to find a specific person. But I'm seeing that laundry connection kind of falling out, and I'm hearing it's a wash. So something like that is going out. I don't know who that is. Okay, God bless you though. All right. Now, let's get deeper into this here because we want to get from this card. This is my struggle card to this a much better card. So what I'm getting here is does feel a little bit in general, if you're watching this video and it's for you and you're going through some ups and downs right now with as we start to create balance within our lives, you may be feeling a certain type of way about it and stressful and struggly. The message is that honestly, it does seem like it could start, get a little bit worse in by your perception before it starts to pick up again, is what I'm getting. And for someone pick up again, you may be having some type of issue with your legs, like your right leg in particular. And don't worry, you're just going to be down for about 4 months there, whoever you are. And it does when I say down, I mean like feeling under the weather about your leg. Maybe you're having limping or whatever. And that, I do want to say that right leg is coming from a past lifetime where you had like you were to use the old word. This is what's coming up from the past because it's an old word here. Lame. You were lame. Your leg was lame. No, you were a lame leg. We can laugh and joke about it now, right? But this is the energy that's coming up. So this is a karmic imprint that's here, and it's coming up for you to learn something from. All of these energies that we're going through at any given time, there are jewels for us to learn. It wouldn't be there. No one's coming out to you just to poke, 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 make you suffer. You created a soul curriculum and stocked it full of all of these amazing learning opportunities, right? And when we don't heal it at the mental level, because the body is not doing anything out here but carbon copying what's going on in your mind, your consciousness, right? But when you develop these energies in the physical, there are definitely calls for attention. There are calls to say, hey, what's going on here? And why? Now, speaking about the why, if your answer is because nobody loves me, because everybody hates me, because I'm a loser, because da 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 da, then I just want to traveling, foul, red card, yellow card, whatever, all these, you're going the wrong direction. That's never going to get you anywhere. That's just going to take you into chutes and ladders, take you down the chute into victim mentality. And when I get in that way, the nickname, I think one of my spare team members calls me is what did it? Pity party mama. Like, what? This is a PPM situation. No, right? My wrist, my weak wrist, like cries. No. Pity party mama. So just let's be mindful about being in the pity party zone. Now, they're showing me here in this cute little card here that says Master Hilarion and Archangel Raphael, number 28. Here you are. Doot, 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 doot. Oh, let me show you. Walking up here, it's just in here, it just signifies you going forward to make your ascension, your advancements, your personal evolution, right? But there, I'm seeing like a little pool of water here, pity party energy, victim consciousness, martyrdom energy. Before you kind of hit those gates, of course, there's going to be that pond. Like, hey, do you want to come through here and hit that ascension for yourself, that elevation for yourself? Or would you like to, Narcissus style, get caught up on this little pool of water here that is pretty much a test? And not a test like everybody's trying to get you. No, it's an assessment. If you can't take this level up for yourself, and move into the next step because you're still stuck feeling sorry for yourself or feeling bad for yourself or going through the stories but not even really doing anything about it, and you're blaming, all that energy. If you can't even get out of that to make it through these gates, then there's no judgment. It's just a clear indication that you could use a little bit more practice. You can use a little bit more lessening in literally lessening, yeah, but I was saying lesson like a learning lesson, but also lessening in the victim stuff. And so what we're seeing right now with all of these full moon lunar eclipse energies, where these energies are coming up, people's emotions are coming up, thoughts are coming up, things are rising up to be reviewed. If you struggle so much to allow yourself to look at what's coming up for you, it's understandable, of course, because it's painful. And there's a reason why we pack things away. But what do you do when those things start to come up? Are some of you getting belligerent? I do feel that some of you may be acting out a lot more. The word belligerent totally came out. And ironically, I want to let you know that if that's you and you find yourself being belligerent right now as these energies are coming up, that's better. they're showing. That's anger. And that's better because it's expression. That's better than, you know, hitting the bottle and that's coming up for a specific reason for somebody here, or maybe multiple people, right? Hitting the bottle, uh, smoking out, whatever your coping mechanisms are. Um, you know, what are some other, there's so many, shopping, you, calling up exes, hanging out, doing all sorts of stuff that it's just really you just trying to escape. If it's just you trying to escape, that's a gut reaction to what's coming up for you right now. You can go down that route, and if you do end up going down that route, again, it's understandable. There are no judges here. If you've had a session with me, you know how we roll. There's no judgments. We're just looking at it and let's chat about it over a hot beverage, of course, right? But it's also an indication that there's something that you really have to look at and you're actively running from. So just be mindful. My guides have said I need to be better. Listen to my petty voice. My guides said, I'm pettily saying, I have to be better with sharing my journey. So I'm going to say that for me, I noticed that I want to escape with my Taurus moon very easily. I recognize it whenever I feel like eating a lot of snacks. If I know it sounds stupid, but I'm just like, oh, gotta eat this, gotta eat that, right? So a lot of snacks. If I notice I want to get lost in playing video games, if I notice I want to binge on YouTube, so Taurus Moon, Enneagram 7, we out here with the overindulgence. So I know that when I start to see that, excuse me, that I have to be mindful, that I have to um, take a look and say, oh, I'm wanting to do this. And I will try to convince myself in so many ways, so many benign ways. Like I said earlier, remember the example I gave earlier when somebody just wants to self-destruct and they want to call their ex and self-destruct, but really they're going to lie to themselves about it so that they can feel okay at the conscious mind level to do it. So they'll just say, oh, I just want to see how his mom's doing. I heard she was in a hospital. You don't need to be calling your ex to find out because you're trying to go to him. You don't care about the mom, right? And so people will fight me on this. I do care about the mother. And I'm seeing right in their energy field, no, you don't. Right. So this is about self-honesty, learning to understand what your triggers are. What are your triggers? Now, of course, we can see why food, for example, would be my trigger, right? Right into some past lifetimes. And I've already seen some of those and which lifetimes that started in and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the point is you don't even need to know what your past lifetimes are. You don't even need to know what's driving it. You can, but you can only do so much healing when you stay stuck in delving into the pain and trying to look in. It's like, hey, I want to clean out my closet, but let me go into my closet and keep looking and rearranging things and pulling out clothes. And hours go by, and at the end of the day, what have you done? You haven't really cleaned out the closet. You're now in the closet, stuck in there, right? So the point is, sometimes you need to just make the decision, focus on taking the action steps, put whatever support systems you need in place. And the best thing you can do at first is identify the coping mechanism, identify the escape technique. So right now, notice this reading is talking about this escape and these things coming up. And that's because energy is coming up for you. And the first thing that happens when energy comes up is that, boom, escape mechanism. Unless you stop and you are mindful. When you stop and you are aware of what's happening and you pause, you create the space for you to then, everything's happening. This is how I feel. Da, 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 da. Tell the story. Go do whatever it is that I need to do to allow myself to see it. And then we make a decision. That's trigger, pause, reflect, respond. When you don't have when you don't even notice the trigger, right? And some of us do notice the trigger, but we struggle to still pause, right? That's the compulsion part. But a lot of people don't even notice the trigger. They just go straight into the destructive behavior. But if you don't create the pause point, which we refer to as mindfulness, then you're in reaction mode. Trigger, boom. That's it. Whatever it is that your thing is. And for some of you, I'm getting and I'm using these words because it's coming through. Some of you, it's not the chips, it's not the shopping, it's the bad behavior is what I'm getting. It's the beating up on other people. Now, beating up on other people doesn't have to be fisticuffs, right? It could be berating other people, and like we talked about earlier, exhibiting belligerent tendencies, blowing your top and taking it out on other people and animals and things like that, so maybe even some plants are catching some strays these days. We don't know what's going on. So, and that comment leads me to what I was going to say next, what I'm going to say next, which is sometimes you're the one that is getting beat up. By whom? Yourself. And that looks like neglect for some of you. Oh, I'm going to stop eating. Oh, I don't feel like getting out of bed today. Oh, I'm just going to take the day off from my exercise. For some of you, what exercise, right? I know. Right. What else? Some of you will start to notice that your bills start to lapse. You stop paying your bills on time. So the point I'm trying to say is, as these things come up for us right now, please be mindful about what your reactions are, your immediate thoughts and your reactions and your feelings and gut reactions. Pause for the cause and then reflect. Oh, look how my thumb like neatly lines up. Well, it's interesting because as I said that, pause for the cause, I'm telling you what to do. It's the solution. And it's almost like that's what we need to do. Then ding, then you will be able to close up or resolve whatever is coming up for you. Now, imagine here if you see this pool, this dead pool, so to speak, just waiting for you to just fall right in, whether it's through your escape mechanisms, your denial, the neglect, all of that stuff, the victim consciousness, the martyrdom consciousness, all of that, any of that. If you can find a way to sidestep it, even just a little bit, sidestep it and just keep moving forward. That's when you really get to step into something new. Imagine we're seeing this massive thing in front of us. If you can find a way to step aside and move forward, you will encounter something else. You will have a new experience. That's the point. When you make the shift, even if it's a small one, you shift into something new. Now, reason why people struggle to shift a lot is because um, I'm just hearing the words, they don't have damage control. And that's a simple way of that. I mean, simply stated, that can simply look like, hey, what do you do when you have a down day? Do you have a self-care protocol in plan for yourself? What is it? Especially in today's news and internet and whatnot, where we can look online and have a good laugh, because we do have a good laugh with some of these reels and stuff. But don't get it twisted. You can have a laugh, but don't believe that, oh, I had a rough day, I'm gonna head over to KK, Krispy Kreme, and just go to town is a healthy thing. And hashtag I deserve this. Like, what are we talking about? That's toxicity. And discernment is what we're looking for. Look at this, discernment, intellectual knowledge. Discernment is what we're looking for. If you can't be a discerning consumer, then you don't need to be consuming certain media. If you can't think critically, then you don't need to be looking at certain things because you're going to hurt yourself with it. You know, don't, and I see this a lot when it comes to just here's one example coming up. Women, God bless us. Yay. Shout out. I see it a lot. So many women are man hating. Okay. Trust me. Listen, we out here. And when I say we, I mean me. I get it. Unrequited love, hashtag this lifetime. Okay. And it actually is part of my my tears, but I'm not even crying about it anymore because I get it now. Part of my, oh, me sharing. Yeah. See, check that off, guys, guides. My lifetime for me in particular, my soul's mission this lifetime, not mission, but purpose, one of my purposes is to establish complete and utter independence. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't get married, for example, but I have a list of things that I have to complete before I can get into that realm in, let's say, a divinely blessed way. And all this time I've just been with my multiple placements in Libra, Cancer, North Node, running to relationship. It's the complete opposite of what my soul wants for me in this lifetime, because in multiple lifetimes I had no independence, right? I had no independence, and I was imprisoned. I was also married in horrible situations, all sorts of stuff. And so, for me in particular, this lifetime, the calling is to establish independence in all categories of my life. And from that space, that developed state of being, boom, then if I'm still feeling it to hook up and be with somebody, then go do it or whatever. And of course, we can be out here. We're here for it. I am. And God is good. But anyway, but the point I'm trying to make here is I don't know. The point I'm trying to make here is that, listen, there's a lot, but you have to get yourself, oops, you have to get to know yourself. You have to understand what it is that your purpose is here for. Look, invitation to connect. Look, didn't I just say after all of that, after I do my path, then connect to whatever it is that needs to come in? So that's the same for all of us. All of us, earth healing. What is it? Thank you. Going back to that example, I was saying so many women are man hating. And I'm talking women who are married, women who are not married, women you could say are, modern women is the term that's online. These are all just labels and it's ridiculous, but as an energy healer, as soon as I see the energy field, man-hating energy. But what that looks like in the social space is, oh, I hate to say it, a lot of you will disagree, right? But you can't lie to your energy reader. We're looking right into your energy anatomy. We're seeing it. We're seeing the past lifetimes. We're seeing the ages when it comes in. We're seeing what it's doing to your body. We see how it manifests as illness in your body. We're seeing all of this, right? One of the ways that this man-hating energy, masculine-hating energy, which is really just hating the masculinity within you, but how it manifests for some people, not everybody, is hating men, obviously, is the we see it in the man-hating propaganda, in a lot, even in a lot of commercials. If you look at a lot of commercials on TV, at least in the US, there's this trend where it's all about belittling the masculine and laughing at them. And then we see a lot of that. We see a lot of, it's just so much. And so, and of course, we all agree that there are reasons why we should eat, why we shouldn't, not should, why we could easily hate men. But that is such a blanket and very social and very, I don't want to say unevolved, but very trauma-driven response to something that when we look at the exact person speaking, and there are many people, we look in, we can see, oh, this is their unhealed wound about this. And a lot of times it has nothing at all to do with men in general. The dating issues that many women have struggled with, the victimization situations a lot of them have come into contact with, when we look at their specific soul curriculum, that's just the symptom of something that they've got going on between what? Themselves, right? And so these are the kinds of messages in the age of Aquarius that people are going to have to look at if they really want to heal. Why are we having these certain experiences in our life? And then what stories are we making up about it? And then what is the effect of it? And yes, doesn't mean that we shouldn't, for example, doesn't mean, for example, that we shouldn't champion certain things, but we cannot just go outward and have war before we sit inward and we look at how the war is within and how it's reflecting outward. Because what that does is that you close your ears off to hearing opportunities for and seeing and experiencing opportunities for empathy with others, whether it's with men, whether it's with young boys, whether it's right. So this is just one small example. I know a lot of people struggle to hear that, but in this day and age, we have to be very mindful and discerning when we consume things, especially in the media, because we're just jumping on a lot of hashtags without stopping to look at the personal wounds inside. And yes, you will always be able to blame, 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 blame. Because listen, we're out here. I get it. Trust me. Been there. But you have to do the inner work. And when you start to do the inner work, you start to see the situation differently. Look, in fact, look at this. You start to see the situation differently. And that's actually my medical card here, my energy healing card. I was like, why did that come up? And here's the message. When we start to stop and we start to delve inside and we start to understand what's going on, what's triggering me, so much so that when I look out into the world, whether it's in my own classroom, my own house, online, at work, I see enemies in whatever it is, in another race, in another gender, in another sexual orientation, in financial situation, whatever it is. Why am I seeing so many enemies? And then when I go online and I read these stories and I hear these tales, it's confirmation bias. And you're further, it may sound great out in the social world sometimes, but when we look at the energy field, you're just digging yourself down deeper. And so now is the time that you have to connect to self. And in fact, look at this. This person is cracking open and their energies are wanting to connect to what? The self. And this is my card, as if you guys follow this channel, where we have the higher self. And it's my now what card. You have received something from your higher self. Here's literally the receptive card. Right? So now is a time where in this age of Aquarius, everybody is being asked to wake up. And wake up, what does that mean? Does it mean we're just going to flit off into the 5D? No, it means you're here on this ground and you're being asked to open your eyes. Open your eyes, disconnect from these social narratives that are very one-dimensional, that usually are oversimplified, that may even list real complexities occurring in the world, but have a perspective that's closed off to the support and love and empathy and all of that that could be there if people were to tend to their wounds. We can't just experience and then boom, oh, boom. You're being asked to go deeper. And that's not something a lot of people are willing to do. I know it sounds hard. Look at that as I pull it. Look who it is. Wisdom of the feminine. What was the example we just gave about women? It's about women in this example, but there are umpteen examples from social stuff all the way to tech stuff. How do we deal with new technologies coming in? If you don't even understand what makes you human, you're going to rush off and just jump into the next technology thing. Everybody wants new technology, but nobody even understands the self. Everyone wants to go out to space and go land on other planets and colonize this and that and do, but they don't even understand what is going on inside of you. What you've got going on inside of you is faster than anything outside of you. And if you study your alchemy and you understand and you study energy and you understand a little bit more of these things, then you realize that what is outside you is just going to be a small or large, depending on how big or small your world is, reflection of what's going on inside of you. Okay, this is why wherever you go, there you will be. There's no escaping it. And so people who want to make lateral movements in life, which is just sticking to the status quo, not thinking for themselves, not reflecting upon themselves, not doing their shadow work, not considering surrender and what they're surrendering to. And this, it's always only you, by the way. And not focusing on being their own pioneer and trailblazing, not even making time for the self, but they want to be outside. If your third eye is closed, you're just going to be dancing to whatever tune other people make, right? And especially those who get very offended very quickly. They're very easy to manipulate. Always remember that. If you study your critical thinking, if you look at psyops, if you look at any of these things, people who are very rigid in their beliefs, and they're very strong to defend things, and they over-identify, whether it's with a sports team or a celebrity or a certain clique or a certain family or a certain institution. They want to be part of a Greek house, all this stuff. The over-identification is going to be a problem for you if you cannot get to self and regroup. Think for yourself. That's the story of this age that we're in. And that's going to mean that you're going to have hard conversations. You're going to have to, because the universe flips things for the sake of teaching. So, and we see this again as an energy reader when, a lot of people who are very staunch in certain beliefs here, you look right into their lifetime, they come in, we look into their lifetime, they were the complete opposite. The people they're fighting today are the people they belong to in another lifetime. And then in the next lifetime, they're going to flip it again because they're trying to learn a lesson. And the lesson is what? Come back to the center, come back to the self. You hate men this lifetime, guess what you were in the last lifetime? You're hating yourself. So this lifetime you come back and you're, getting to experience some of the things. You hate women this lifetime, guess what you were the last 5 lifetimes? And in this lifetime you're a man and you hate, women because you blah blah. So people need to understand that you shouldn't over identify with any one thing. You observe it, you consider what you think you're seeing and what you think you're experiencing and the emotions that come from the story that you're telling yourself about what it is that you think you're seeing. How does it affect you? What does it do within you? What comes up for you? And you have to do your best to see how you can heal that. And the healed state, again, is going to look like you coming back to the neutral. The electrical charge just isn't going to be there. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't be an advocate. It doesn't mean that you can't get angry about things. It doesn't mean, this is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is in this day and age, everybody's being called. If you care to evolve the self, that is, people are being called to get back to center. This is not the age of the guru anymore. This is an age where you are being asked to look at yourself and understand yourself as the source of all of your stuff on this planet. At some level, yeah, you're at this physical level. Maybe you didn't choose to lose your money in this way here, but you at a higher level, which is you that you forgot. It's you. Look at this guy literally sleeping. Look at this card, unplugged from mass consciousness. Come on, guys. I'm not making this up, right? You, it's all you. Everything is you. And people struggle to believe that because they're still waiting for science to catch up. They're still waiting for religion to catch up. They're still waiting for their father or mother to give them permission. They're still, whatever, for their husband, whatever you're still waiting for. You're going to be waiting for a long time because that's not what you came down here for. You came down here at this specific time. You could have chosen any other time to incarnate, but you chose this specific time because of what was happening. In fact, look at this card, random, but not very random. New vitality. You wanted to get in on the action. Why are you here just following? You're stuck watching the news night and day. You're stuck believing that all these manifestation words and stuff, all this magic. No, you are the source. And you cannot get back to that source, that real power until what? You get back to yourself. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Look at this. Pretty much the same person showing you what? This is my world. This is my world. Your world. Everybody thinks they're living in the same world. You're not. You're living in your own world and you're shifting from version to version multiple times a second. It's your timeline jumping, right? And so you can stay out here in the lower frequencies in victim consciousness and from a place of victim consciousness warring with each other and all of this, or you can realize that this is the world you're in, and tomorrow you wake up, it's going to be that world, whatever you want, but you can change for yourself by taking a moment. Oh, look, getting in connection with yourself, making it a serious effort to get into mindfulness. For some of you, that may be hiking, that may be fishing, it could be meditating, it could be journaling, could be singing, could be whatever, but you do have to make time for yourself and to be in your own energetic space so you can learn what it feels like to be in that state. And in your state of oneness and self-love and self-care and security, you're bringing your energy to you, your energy field becomes more whole. And from that place, you will think better. You will have more innovations. You will be of better actual use to the world because then when you show up, to let's continue with the example of advocacy. When you show up as an advocate for your favorite cause, you're bringing a whole-minded approach to it. You're bringing an open heart to it. You're bringing mindfulness to it. You're bringing well-roundedness to it. What you're not doing is showing up in your unresolved, unlooked at, unprocessed pain and spewing hate. I hate, and I this, and these and that, and the bit that. This is the wrong energy. So at this time in 2025, discernment is key. It's not about what you do. It's the energy behind what you do. And nobody wins if you stay in this divided state of being. It's called fragmentation. It's called being so riddled with shadows that you're out of alignment with yourself. So bring yourself into the self, love yourself back into wholeness, and from this state, this focus of moving back inward, allow that higher part of you to work through you to be of assistance to the world. It's totally a different energy altogether, and that is how you assist the world and avoid getting lost in the woundedness that we can just turn on any news TV show, any pundit, any YouTube channel. We all love certain very great intellectual thinkers, depending on where you fall on the spectrum of polemics, but most, if not all of them that are very famous today that we tap into and they get a lot of hot takes and sound bites where there's no empathy, So that's just putting that out there. Anyway, so this is the message that's coming through for Libra or the collective energy. There's a lot jam-packed into one. Sorry, guys. I tried. Okay. I was gonna say any last messages and boom, spiritual service. That's what I'm here for. Oh, all right. Mwah. You guys know where to find me if you need anything. Yeah. See you later.